Hello all. In this video session we will be seeing examples for files. Okay, we learned few concepts in the previous session, so we are going to see examples of those concepts. Okay, so we are going to write a program to store roll number and name of student in a text file. Also we will be writing a program to read the roll number and name of student stored in this text file. Okay, so this is our program now. So we have studio.h, then I have also included the library stdlib since I am using this exit function. Then we have the main, then I have declared roll number name, then as we have mentioned we will be having a file pointer and it is of type file. Okay, so to open, first we will be opening the file. So for that we will be using the fopen function. So fopen of demo.text comma w. Okay, where we want to open this demo.text in write mode. Okay, so if this file opens, then we'll be getting the address, and this fp will not be null. If there was an error opening the file, then that case none value will be returned, and here fp will be having null value. So this statement will be executed. After that the program is exited, returning the value 1, indicating to the operating system that something went wrong. Okay, so now if this file has opened correctly, then we can just read the roll number and name, and then we can write that data to the file. Okay, write that data to the file pointed by fp. Okay, so we can just consider that the file has opened correctly. So the file pointer will be pointing to the starting location of the file. Then after executing this statement, the roll number and name that I have read will be written in the file. Okay, and after writing, this value of fp will be incremented. Okay, so first it will write roll number, then it will insert a horizontal tab, then it will insert the name, and after that it will insert the new line character. And after all these things are done, we will close the file. Okay, and the syntax for closing the file is fclose, then inside we have to pass the parameter file pointer. So we write fclose of fp to close the file. Okay, so these are the part of the program. Now we will just compile this program, that is gcc student, and output it to student dot out. Okay, student ut dot out. Okay, before running the program, I am just going to list the files inside this current directory. So there is only two .c files and one .out files. There are no text files. So after executing, it should create a text file, that is demo.text. Okay, so I'm just going to run this program, student ut.out. So it is asking for the roll number. I'm giving 1, then name Abhishek. Okay, so the program completed. Now if I give ls, that is if I list the files in the current directory, we have got a new file, demo.text. Okay, and if I just print the content using the command cat, then it will print the value that is inside the demo.text, that is 1 Abhishek. So there is 1, then there was an horizontal tab, so here is a horizontal tab, and after that we have /n. So after that it will come to the new line. Okay, so this is how it was written. Now since we are using write mode here, what happens is that if I again run this program, it will overwrite the content. Okay, that is the data that was previously in the file will be erased. Okay, or we can simply say it will be overwritten. So that is when we are using this write mode. Okay, so if I run this program again, okay, I'm just going to run this program. I'm just going to give 2, and then I'm going to give Aditya. Then if I display the content of demo using this cat command, then the first data was overwritten. Okay, so when you use write, remember that it will overwrite the data that was previously on the file. Okay, now I'm just going to run this program, then I'm going to give 1, then I'm going to Abhishek. So now those are the details which will be inside this file. Now if we want to add files to it, then we can change this write mode to append mode. Okay, so if we want to add data to the previously written file, then you can use the append mode, then the new data will be appended to the existing data. Okay, so if I just compile this program now, no errors. Okay, I'm just going to output. If I give 2 and Aditya, then if I cat, that is list the content of demo.txt, both the data are there. Okay, so I'm just going to clear this. Now consider that you want to read details of n number of students, then we can simply use a for loop for that. I'm writing a for loop for that. So I is for iteration, n is for number of students. So here I will be asking printf and the number of students, then scanf, I will be reading that to n. Then I will be writing a for loop for I equal to 0, I less than n, then plus plus I. Then I have to read roll number, then name, then I have to write all these data to the file. Okay, so I'm just going to give a tab here, and then after that I'm just going to give close braces here. So this is our entire program. Okay, so number of students is read and stored in n. Then after that we will be reading roll number and name of each student, then writing those data to the file pointed by fp. Okay, our file is demo.txt. Okay, since we are using append mode, the previously written data will be there. The new data, the data that we are writing now, will be appended to the previously existing data. Okay, so I'm just going to compile this. Okay, no errors. Now I'm going to run this. This I'm going to give number of students as 3. So roll number 3, and I am going to give Adnan, and another roll number, that is I'm going to give 4, and I'm going to give Advaita, then 5, and I'm going to give, let's say, Advait. So I have read these data, and if I just display the content of demo.txt, then all those data are there. So here the previously written data is still there because we have been using the append mode. Okay, and these are the new datas added. Okay, so this is how actually we add data to a text file. Okay, now here we are using a text file, that you have to remember. So these data are stored as ASCII values. Okay, now we will see how we can read data from a file. Okay, so here the program is to read roll number and name of students stored in a text file. Okay, so here there are some indications of feof function and fscanf function. So we will get into it. Before that, we'll test something that is in read mode. Okay, you know different modes, write and append. That is, if that file is not already existing, it will create a new file, right? But in the case of read mode, if the file is not existing, then it won't be created. It will just give a null value to this fp. Okay, while opening, if that file is not existing, or if the file doesn't exist, then it will return a null value to fp. Okay, so I will just demonstrate that. So we know that these are the files present in current directory. So demo.txt is there, so I'm just going to change this as dem.txt. So now if I give something like okay, I'm just going to compile this first, gcc student, and output it to student dot out. Okay, now if I run this particular file, then what happens is that here the file is not created, since this is in read mode. Okay, so read mode will only work if the file is already existing in the directory. Okay, so since it is not existing, it will just print the error condition, that is error opening file. Okay, now okay now I'm just going to save this. Now we will see how we can read from a file. Okay, so we have used fprintf for writing to a file. Now we are using fscanf for scanning data from file. Okay, so sometimes we won't be knowing how many data is there in the file. Okay, so we have to check whether we have reached the end of file or not. So like we have discussed, there are two options that we can use, or two ways we can use. First one is feof function, or we can use the return value of fscanf. Okay, this feof function will return non-zero value if end of file is reached. Okay, also it will return 0 if not end of file. Okay, so remember, feof of fp means that we are asking, or this function is inquiring whether end of file has reached. If reached, then it will return a non-zero value. If not reached, then it will return a 0 value. Okay, so we have to traverse through the file until end of file is not reached. So we will be always giving the condition not feof of fp if we want to traverse through the file. Okay, then another option is we can use the fscanf function. It will return -1 if end of file is reached. Otherwise it will return the word count, or the number of values that we are reading. Okay, if end of file is not reached. Okay, that is another way we can find out. That is, after fscanf we can check what is the value we are getting. If it is end of file, then that means end of file is reached. Otherwise it is not end of file. So these are the two ways through which we can check whether we have reached end of file or not. Okay, so now the program, you know what studio.h is for, what stdlib is .h is for. We are using that because we are using exit here. Okay, so exit will exit from our program. Okay, anyway, then we have main, then roll number, name, then file pointer fp, then we have opened the file demo.txt in a read mode. Then after that we'll be checking whether it is null. In that case, like I have demonstrated, it will be showing error opening file. Then after that I have used one way for checking whether end of file has reached or not. So while not fof of fp, that means that while end of file is not reached. Okay, so not end of file. Okay, so this means that not end of file, then do these two steps. Okay, yeah, like I have mentioned, feof of fp will return non-zero value if it has reached end of file, and it will return 0 if it has not reached end of file. So 0 means false. To make it positive, I have given the not here. So while not feof of fp, do these two steps. What it does is that it will be scanning the roll number and name from the file pointed by fp. Okay, the syntax is same. The syntax is same when we consider it with scanf. Only difference is that we will be having a file pointer here, and it will be better if you give something like the same format for reading in the same format you have written. Okay, so if you consider our program, what this ut, that is student ut, here we are writing, we are giving %d slash t % slash n. So in similar way I have given %d slash t % slash. Okay, when you are using this, it is better that you give the fscanf like this. Okay, so like printf, you're giving this in the same way. Okay, so this will be reading each data from the file. Okay, then after that I am just printing their content into the screen. Okay, so first it will read this much data from the file, then it will store it, the roll number in roll number variable and name in name variable. Then we will use the printf statement for printing the value. Okay, and once all the values in the file are read, it will go to end of file. So this condition will become false. Then after that, this fclose function is executed, which will close the file. Okay, now we will see how this works. So I'm just going to compile this. So I'm just going to clear this, then compile and run. Okay, so these are the 5 roll numbers and their corresponding name. Okay, one more thing that you have to remember is that while you are writing these record, make sure that when you are giving name, there aren't any white spaces, because fscanf reads data based on this white spaces. So if you give any white space, then it will consider it as another word. Okay, so it will be one string, and if there was some another name, then it will be considered as another string. Okay, so when you are writing the data to the file, make sure that you don't provide any white space between names, etc. Okay, so here we have used this file feof function for determining the end of file. Now there is one more method, that is we can use the return value of fscanf function. So I'm just going to use that. Okay, so this is the condition. So I am reading or scanning roll number and name from the file. Okay, so this will also work, but I'm just going to give this the same pattern for simplicity. Okay, if you don't give that in the case of fscanf, it will work. Anyway, I'm giving that. So I am reading this fscanf reads the roll number and name. So usually what fscanf does is that if the end of file is reached, it will return -1. Otherwise, it will return the number of values that we are reading. Okay. So this fscanf will work till all the values in the file is read. Okay. So that's why we are checking it with EOF. EOF is a macro which is having the value -1. Okay, and this fscanf will return -1 when it reaches end of file. Okay, so this will continue till end of file is reached. Okay, so roll number and name is read using fscanf. So roll number and name are read from the file using fscanf function. Then those are printed using this printf statement. Okay, I'm just going to delete this. This is not required. Okay, so the same way it will be printed. Okay, now I am just going to compile this, no errors, run this. Okay, the same way all the data are printed. Okay, so these are the 2 ways you can check end of file. You can either use feof function, or you can use the return value of fscanf function. Okay, so remember about these 2 concepts. Okay, thank you.